should all keep good records.
Yeah, we actually encourage you to keep a journal too. I mean, I started doing that. I have an electronic one on my phone, and it's really helped me to see the Lord's hand in my life more. You've got a responsibility to keep your business going. Again, if your business fails, there's going to be no money there for your family. Accountability is our accountants' things. Accountant said it makes finance, tax preparation. It also reduces the chance of errors. And truly, too, the other thing, too, what about financial planning? That's what we're doing in these guys. We're planning our lives. And if you separate those out, it just makes that so much easier. And finally, it enhances professionalism. As people come up and will see that, hey, you're treating this business as a serious entity. I have to come close.
Okay, I can do it.
Okay.
Okay, Bob's business is going well. He has $25,000 saved in his business account and will be expanding his business next year. His sister, seeing his success, has come to him with a $15,000 business idea. He really wants to help her, but he only has about $8,000 saved in his personal account. What should Bob do? Any ideas? Or you guys want to talk to each other? Let's let them talk to each other.
Okay, is this an easy question? No, if you were Bob, that's a tough one. Here's a question. Should you be telling people how much you have in your business account? Not if they're not part of the business. Again, you keep family matters in the family.
Or with your wife.
Yeah, with your wife. You know, Bob really needs to go in and say, hey, what is your idea? Needs to make sure she has a business plan and not just, hey, I just think if I do this, I can make money.
And that was a good idea.
Plan.
He talked about analyzing her business idea and deciding whether it was a good idea.
And giving her input. He also might be able to help on certain things too here, on different things on different accounting software, things like this to help her put it together. Mm-hmm. It might be an attractive idea.
Also, successful business owners, this is against, realize that they need their money in their accounts for possible problems and to help the business grow. Taking money from the business reduces opportunities for growth and limits the amount Bob can take out in the future. We remind him to be nice later. And also, if he were an employee, taking money out of the till to help his sister would be stealing. Likewise, successful business owners do not rob their businesses to give aid to family and friends. So I think that it would be better if he took his own money, as long as his wife consented, to help her out maybe a little bit.
Yeah, maybe there's a middle ground too.
Does his wife have a say? Yep, she does. As equal partners, Bob should counsel with his wife about the money they can lend, which is money in their personal account. She is an equal partner and should have equal say in the decision that affects personal funds. You're going to have a lot of people coming to ask you for money for help.
A lot of times the idea is not very good, so they'll take it to other places, and people will say, you know, this is just not a good idea, and they won't fund it. So they'll come to, again, people will come to the place that they ask the fewest questions generally.
But make the best decision that you can. Take it to the Lord. This is a significant decision that will have a significant impact on your family.
And
then
also the business, too. This will have a significant impact on his ability to grow the business.
Yeah, but he's probably going to only take money out of his personal funds.
Well, depends on what.
And then he should follow their decision with the Lord's guidance. I know we've had a lot of people that have asked for money in the past, and a lot of times we will give them the money and loan them money, and
Sometimes,
most of the time,
sometimes
it doesn't get paid back. So when we give money to people, we just assume that we're not going to get it back. Yeah. And if you do get it back, that's a good thing. But sometimes it's hard for people to pay money back.
And I wish I would have known then what I know now about giving, about tie your giving to principles. Because back then we didn't follow the principles. And again, as Sister said, we said most of the time we didn't get it back. But we're doing a lot better now.
But if we did, then we would be happy. But
yeah.
Sometimes you just have to give it and then realize that that money is a sunk cost.
Yeah.
Bob should realize that he only has access to his personal funds and never use business funds. For helping others, Bob needs to make sure that his business is a house of order first, and then he can work on helping others. He might think about helping her with $5,000 if his wife agrees, and hopefully she could get the remainder from banks or other financial institutions. He would be helping her help herself.
Again, back to following those principles. When financial is help, how do you give wisely? Like I said before, going back over when we've helped people financially and we didn't follow the principles, usually we didn't get paid back. But that wasn't our criteria. But again, if we follow the principles, that helps them.
And we didn't give so much that it would cripple us.
Yeah. So we had room in our giving funds for it.
Do you pay tithing on business income? We've kind of talked about this already.
There's a difference between your P&L and what you take home. Your P&L is your profit in the business. What you take home is your increase.
So keep business and personal money separate and in separate bank accounts. Pay tithing only on the money you receive as a salary or that you take out of the business. The money in the business is not tithed. You will use the money to pay for business expenses, salaries, and business growth opportunities. You only pay tithing on money you take out of the business.
When I was a kid growing up, I remember every week my dad would give my mom a check for $400. And then she was to use that to pay all the expenses. So realize this is 60 years ago.
Yeah, long time.
Long time ago. But I didn't realize then, but that was his part of keeping the family finances and the business finances separate. Mm-hmm. So it's important that we do it. It's important that we get in the habit.
Understand the importance of good record keeping. What is record keeping?
And you have to keep records in your finances, your personal finances. It's even more important in your businesses.
It's being organized. It's critical that you keep daily records for your business to see and learn from the past, continue things that work well and stop the things that aren't working well, and learn from your mistakes and plan for your future. One
of the hardest things in a business is to know when to close it down.
And if you don't keep good records, you won't know.
You won't know. You won't know what your profitability is and things like that. My decision to build signs was fun, and it was a good summer job, but it wasn't a long-term thing. Mm-hmm. I realized that I wasn't very good at it, and I wasn't
making a profit.
I wasn't making much of a profit at it, too.
Why must we keep records? Because you can see the trends. You find that you might sell more on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. You can see the customers come more in the afternoon than in the morning. You might notice a substantial decrease in costs after you began working with a new supplier. Or records provide valuable information that can help you make better decisions and run a more profitable business.
Again, it just helps us to be wiser stewards. And that's what we want to do. We're stewards over our own finances, but we're also stewards over our business finances as well.
A profitable business helps you reach your ultimate goal of moving your family toward prosperity.
Yeah. And that's what we want.
Why do businesses keep records? It's vital to your business. One of my favorite sayings is, brains are for thinking, not for remembering. That's why whenever you guys tell me something, I'm like, it's going to be out of my head by the time I get up to my office. So I need to write it down, or you need to send me an email because I can't remember everything. So that's why it's very important to keep good records, because you can't remember everything in your head.
How about this? When you give to family, should you keep good records there? Yeah. So if someone's borrowed money from before and they want to come back for more, you say, wait a second. 6 months ago you came and said you were going to be doing this. You know what? You haven't paid that one back yet. Why should I continue giving when you haven't paid that one back?
Record keeping enables you to see with no doubt at all what has truly happened in your business every day.
Yeah.
Who's responsible for the record keeping in your business?
Yeah.
Yourself. No matter what business you run or how big your business is, you as the owner are always ultimately responsible and accountable for the quality of your records.
Same thing with your personal finances. You're responsible for your personal finances.
And you have the most invested in the business, both financially and emotionally. You should keep track of your records in the business.
With businesses, do you have a lot emotionally Yeah, I did 2 startup firms, both asset management startup firms. And yeah, you truly do have a lot emotionally involved. Realize that.
Understand what records to keep. Which daily records should you keep? You should keep records in the 4 specific areas. Keep records of your inventory, keep records of your sales, keep records of all your expenses, and keep records of your cash balance. Those are the 4 main things that you need to keep records of.
What should those records look like? What inventory records? The item. How many you bought? What was the cost? What was the date you purchased those?
So it's important to keep track of all of these things.
Mm-hmm. And then sales.
Every time you sell an item to a customer, you need a written record of the event, a description of the item, the date it was sold, the sales price, whether it was purchased by a check, cash, or credit, and the name of the customer. So every time you go to Foodland, they have a cash register that's electronic, and it has all of those items on it. It says what you bought, what was the date, what was the sale price, if you paid by cash, check, or credit, and your name.
Why do they have those customer cards? You have to put in your cell phone number. What does that do?
Keep track of what you buy.
Keep track of everything you buy.
Mm-hmm. And
So-
I get rewards there too. Sometimes.
So, and the thing too is, again, you need to do that with your businesses. Notice as your business grows, you're going to need to move up from something like Excel. So,
Which
again,
expenditure records should you keep?
yeah,
Now you have to keep a description of the item, the date, the purchase price, and where you purchased it from, whether you purchased it by cash, check, or credit, and the name of the business that you purchased it from. So this is when you're purchasing things.
Yeah.
You have to keep track of all that.
Does it seem like a lot of work?
Yes?
Yeah, but if you want to be successful in your business, you've got to be detail oriented. Again, some of us are big picture and some of us are detail oriented. In the business side, you have to have both. And so work with people who can give you that.
Okay, which cash record should you keep? Add up all the sales you've had for the day, money received, money spent, cash left. Count the cash in your cash register. Compare it. Make sure they match. They're balanced. And then put any extra money in a safety deposit box or the bank account. Never keep extra money laying around.
Yeah, you don't want to give people options for being
Yeah.
dishonest.
So when I was working at a Dairy Queen a long time ago when I
50
was
years
in
ago.
college, they didn't have any electronic cash register. They had just the cash register. You push the button and the drawer comes out and you put the money in. That was it. And but they kept track of, so they couldn't keep track of their money electronically, but they knew exactly how much ice cream they had put in the machines, and they knew exactly how much money they should have received. Well, almost exactly, an approximate exact part. But anyway, so they knew because they'd kept good records over many years, so they knew if they put in this much ice cream in the machine and they have this much cash money in the register, they knew it was going to balance out. But otherwise, they would know somebody had taken some extra money or it was missing or whatever. But they were good at keeping track of their money that way because they kept good records.
And the key is to understand the business before you start. Doing your homework and trying to understand all the details and all the costs. It makes a significant difference.
Income statement. What about your income statement, profit and loss, or P&L? This is one additional record that you should keep and review regularly, but you don't need to do it daily. The value of an income statement provides you a snapshot of how profitable your business is over a specific period of time. It answers the question, how's my business doing?
Yeah. And if you start going negative over periods of time, you might have to make some tough decisions. Again, one of the hardest decisions is when do you close down a business?